welcome to the Hacienda. Rivet here. Today we're going to make something delicious from Mexico, caldo tlalpeno, or Mexican tlalpeno soup. Now this recipe comes from Mrs. Rivet's cousin John. Him and his family live in St. Louis, Missouri, and he frequents a Mexican restaurant in Chesterfield, which is right outside St. Louis, that features this soup. It's fantastic, and he shared it with my wife and showed us some pictures, and so we're going to go ahead and make it, make our version here. Very popular soup, reaches back way back into ancient Mexican history. Now what you don't see here is step one. You boil an entire chicken in a pot of water to make your homemade chicken broth. You can use canned chicken broth or the Maggi cubes, but you're missing the entire point of the soup. The basis of the soup and the key ingredient is your homemade chicken broth and the simmered chicken that you're using. What we've done is we've put the broth in the fridge overnight to cool, and we're going to skim off the fat. We've deboned and took the skin off the chicken that we're going to chop up into pieces for the soup. And you can see the remainder of the ingredients, very simple. You'll see the list in the notes below. And join me and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so now we got the defatted chicken stock at a good simmer. We're going to add 3 teaspoons salt and 1 teaspoon of ground oregano, half a bolt of garlic sliced. This is fairly large bulbs, so there was 5 in all. So we're going to add that like that. Then we're going to add 5 or so bay leaves, those 4 carrots, and a nice chop, kind of small, as well as that large onion in a very small dice as well. What we have here is a can of chipotle peppers in sauce, and we're going to add all that. Now, you can dice up the chipotle peppers if you want, but they're going to fall apart as the soup cooks, so I'm not going to mess with that. But we want the flavor of the sauce to conjoin and help make the soup. Alright, so we're going to stir that, we're going to cover it, and we're going to simmer that for half an hour or so. Join me then. Okay, while the soup is simmering, what we're going to do in a saucepan over medium-high heat with a generous 1/3 cup of olive oil, we're going to take a cup of raw rice, and we're going to saute it until it starts getting brown. This is a key step here to making the perfect soup. Now, in this case, we're using brown rice just because we had it and it's good. You could use regular long grain wild rice if you want to. Alright, so once the rice gets nicely brown, I don't know if you can see it through the angle of the camera, but it is. It's much darker. It's getting the color of copper or golden. We're going to add it to the soup. Alright, so there's a simmering soup. I hope this isn't going to be an accident. We're going to add the rice and the oil to the soup. Slowly. Be safe, people. Don't try this at home, folks. I'm a trained professional. Alright. Beautiful stuff going on here. Alright. We're still in the first 30 minutes of simmering. It's got 9 minutes left. Okay, the first 30-minute iteration of the simmering is done. You can see it's at a good simmer. And we're going to add 2 cans of drained chickpeas, garbanzos. Okay? Now, you can use raw, but you're going to have to boil it a lot longer. So, we're going to take the shortcut. All chickpeas are good. Okay, so then, once we got that in there, now we're going to add the chicken. Okay, so here we have the one deboned, deskinned chicken that I cut up into chunks earlier today off camera, and we're going to add this to the soup like such. Ow, that is hot. Okay, so once that's in there, we're going to mix it up well. We're going to put the lid back on there and simmer it for 1/2 hour again. And then the soup's done, so join me then. Okay, the second 30 minutes is over. The soup's at a nice simmer, and I've fished out the bay leaves. So let's go ahead and serve it up and put some garnish And let's see what this deliciousness is like. Oh, that steaming goodness. And let me tell you, it is delicious. The smokiness of the broth with the slightly garlicky, oniony background. Oh, there's a pepper that didn't quite fall apart, but that's fine. Yum. And let me tell you, the richness of the broth, yes, definitely the secret to the soup in itself. Gotta make the broth from scratch. That's the key. Alright, so there's a soup. Now we're going to garnish it a little bit. Here we have some Queso Fresco, fresh Mexican cheese. Okay. Then we got some fresh chopped cilantro. Put that over there. And of course, gotta have some avocado. Let's get 2 pieces, because it's good stuff. And then lime. You garnish it with lime, so we'll give it a squirt of the lime juice and put the lime right there. We got a couple pieces here if you want more. Oops. And wouldn't be anything without Aztecs. Homemade chips, absolutely delicious. To crunch in there if you want. Caldo Tlalpeno. Very good. Thanks for watching, people. Absolutely delicious. Take care.